Hi, I'm MTG and welcome to my channel where we're going to be doing another deck tech breakdown with another cool Dominaria commander, Queen Allenal of Ruadach. And it's a 3 CMC commander, so I really like that because cheap commanders means you can recast them and have a less of a hard time doing so. Commander tax, I tell you. So what this commander does is when it enters the battlefield, it has a power and toughness that are equal to the number of creatures you control, which I think is very nice. And this other chunk of text here says, if one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. So I think this is going to be pretty sweet because we see two pretty clear stapled on win cons here. One I think is going to be potentially through commander damage, and the other one is going to be token go wide, heck and swarm the board, and I don't know, make everyone sad. So just looking at kind of like the basic ideas of what I think this deck wants, which is the first one that I think is, again, pretty obvious, token spam. So you can create tokens from attacking cards like Rabble Rousing, Adaline, Hero of Bladehold are going to be great because those all, trigger when you attack with a creature. So Rabble Rousing, I think, is actually quite powerful because I've created like an insane amount of tokens from this card, both in Historic Brawl and just using it in Commander. And what's helpful with it is you can feel more confident like swinging out, and then you create a 1/1 citizen creature token for each creature that you have that's attacking. So then that kind of creates like a little buffer for you with like protection because it makes those 1/1 citizen creature tokens. And even though you can't attack with those the same turn that they're made, they're essentially like a wall of bodies to keep you protected. So if you swing out and someone wants to counterattack you, maybe you have some like chump blockers to throw in front of some of these creatures that are going to hit you and hopefully reduce some of the damage. And then obviously Adaline, making a lot of tokens just by attacking based on the number of opponents that she's facing. And then Hero of the Bladehold, when she attacks, she gives another creature +1 to their attack power if they're attacking with her. So I think like that's a token generation, but also an anthem effect. And then you can make tokens from ETB effects. So Tovolar's Huntmaster makes wolf tokens, Infestation makes insect tokens. And what I like about cards with ETB effects, it means that you can flicker them, and if you flicker them, that means you're getting repeated value and repeated token generation. So white, I think, adds a cool mechanic or approach at least to that with like potential flicker effects. And then the other thing too that you can make a lot of tokens from are creatures that give you tokens based off of when you cast another spell. So in this case, I think God Eternal Ketra is going to be sweet because whenever you cast a creature spell, you're going to be making a 4/4 zombie creature token with Vigilance. And then you also have Tauren's Fist of the Angels, which is going to make, I think it's human warrior tokens, but they have training. So those will get bigger on their own. And then you get tokens too just for doing things that the game wants you to do, like landfall effects or on your upkeep. So cards like Scute Swarm and Tendershoot Dryad I think are going to be really good in this deck as well. But with all these tokens, you don't want to die to a heckin' Massacre Worm effect. So I think Lord effects are going to be super important for this, not only to keep yourself from dying from a Massacre Worm, but, to just dish out more damage. So Lord effects or Anthem effects that I'm thinking of for this deck are going to be things like Wedding Announcement. Wedding Announcement makes a token, but it also flips, to giving all your other creatures +1/+1. So that's pretty sweet. And then I think Maja Bredegard Protector as well, because she gives, +1/+1 to other creatures, but she also makes tokens herself when a land enters the battlefield. And that is also pretty nice. Stonks. The Lord effects I think are pretty cool. One that I would like to kind of play around with too, it might not be very good because it's not like a super central like citizen theme to this deck, but Darling of the Masses, it's from New Capenna, and I think there's a lot of New Capenna cards that kind of got like looked over a bit because Baldur's Gate dropped right, like after it felt like it was released. So I think there's some really interesting New Capenna cards that would work really well with this commander. The other piece of this of what I think this deck wants to is to give other like, I don't want to say Voltron effects, but ways to like boost your commander. Use Shadow Spirit because it gives lifelink and trample, plus an additional +1/+1 to the attack power and toughness. And then again, like almost like a sub Voltron-y theme here, which is enchantment auras. There's a bunch of different auras that it can either give your commander like protection or trample, or make it huge and just hit face. So I think there's some really fun pieces of that. And giving your commander trample for this one, especially if you're making a lot of tokens, I think it's going to be really key for winning with commander damage. So I found this card this morning. It's called Elvish Herder, and you can pay 1 green and give a creature trample. Now, that being said, I think it might be more efficient to do more anthem-y type effects when it comes to giving all of your creatures trample. And you have a god creature, I think it's Nyla, one of her versions of her indestructibleness. It gives all your creatures trample. So I think that might actually be a smarter way to go about it, just because it'll be more versatile. It'll give your commander a boost, but then also with your tokens trying to go wide, they all get trample as well. Craterhoof Behemoth, of course, is a good way to close out the game. And you just, other effects like that. Overall, I think this commander is going to be really interesting and a ton of fun. I'm super curious to know like how y'all would like to build this deck, or what cards you think would be, superstars in this deck. I've learned about a lot of really cool, cards from other people, from some of the other videos I did. So I'm really excited, to keep learning from y'all and hearing more cards. So honestly, really love it when y'all, drop a comment and, give your own card suggestions. So anyways, I'll stop rambling there. And thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye.